day one of trying to convince my dad to start the carnivore diet. So for those of you who don't know, I recently went through a flare-up with my Crohn's disease, and we did a test kind of during or kind of just after that flare, and the inflammation levels were above 800. It wasn't even on the charts. To put that in perspective, a normal person is supposed to be max 50. And so I was way outside of that. Anyway, around Easter time, I actually did a 3-day fast and then started the carnivore diet after that. And I recently did a test about last week, and my inflammation levels were a 67. So for someone with Crohn's disease, that's insane. But I want to kind of start posting some videos for my family, for my dad, to kind of convince him to go this route as well. My sister's already done the carnivore diet. She specifically does it when she has flare-ups. But it's just a more natural way to kind of combat Crohn's disease. My dad said he really wanted sodas. That was one of his big things. I'm the Dr. Pepper girl. I used to love them. But anyway, my husband, because he was a cyclist, apparently big in the cyclist world, they use just carbonated water, which in this case I have LaCroix. I don't love it, to be honest with you, but the orange one is my favorite one. And for the sake of having something carbonated on the carnivore diet, this is great for that. The dish we're making today, I just call it cheesecake, though it comes out more like a flan, I think is what it's called. But all it is a whole thing of cream cheese, which is 8 ounces, and then 3 eggs, and we're just gonna blend them together. Like I said, I've kind of been doing carnivore diet for a while now. I don't do strictly, if I can open this, I don't do strictly carnivore anymore. When I first started, it was super strict. So it's just the meat, there we go. It's just meat, eggs, milk, anything that comes from an animal directly. Chicken is a good thing to use when you want to create like a bunch of different recipes. I haven't really used chicken a whole lot because our family is big into deer meat. And so I'm gonna get my hands messy here. But our family's big into deer meat, and so I just use their ground meat. Also, my husband's family has a lot of ground meat they gave us. I do a lot of that type of meat, and I'll do a video on that eventually, just kind of showing what I eat every day that's easy to make. But this is one of those dishes that I'm like, I come home, I want something sweet. I haven't made anything yet, and I just want something sugary without all the negatives of a ton of sugar. All right, this is always the hard part for me, is just throwing these eggs in here, because I always get egg everywhere or get eggshells in it. He's trying to get away. But anyway, like I said though, I don't do strict carnivore anymore. Back when the flare was really bad, I definitely did, but now I do a lot of avocados. So I have like 1 avocado a day. On top of that, I'll eat dates. Now dates kind of affect me. They kind of start causing symptoms again. So I'll usually do a max of 2 dates a day. There we go. Oh, I got a shell in there. Stand by. I'm making it worse. I'm making it so much worse. There we go. I did blueberries for a little bit, but the blueberries themselves bothered my body, so I just didn't want to keep using those. People will eat fruit on carnivore, and that's usually when they start going more of the animal-based route. I'm still staying pretty strict on this, and I've noticed so carnivore is strictly just salt and pepper seasonings. So when I go out, that's one of the hardest things to kind of deal with, is going out to a restaurant and trying to get food that is on the carnivore diet. I do cheat a little bit in that case, and I'll get like fajitas and just eat the meat. Now, if I do that multiple days in a row, it will bother me. So this, whatever it's called, hand blender, that's not what it's called, an immersion blender, has been the very best thing that I have bought. I think it was like 20 bucks on Amazon, but I use it for a ton of these. I have a KitchenAid, but when I want to do it in the dish, I don't want to get like 15 dishes dirty. This is perfect. Alright, cool. Now that that's mostly blended, I'm going to get my sweeteners. On an animal-based diet, you can use honey. this honey that I buy off of a friend who raises bees, so it's a fully natural, real honey. When he runs out of honey or I just can't get it, I'll use stuff from the store, and usually my go-to is like whatever the most expensive honey is, that's probably the one you want to buy. That's probably been the worst thing about the carnivore diet, is just the money. Obviously everything is just so much more expensive when you have to buy all natural stuff. I'm mixing my sweetener. It's going everywhere, hence the apron. All right, I'm gonna do a little taste test. So I know there's raw eggs in here, but it hasn't killed me yet, so we're gonna do a quick taste test. That's actually really good. I'm happy with that. Now I will say, when you start carnivore diet stuff and you start doing these dishes that aren't quite as sugary, it's definitely different. But when you do them a lot, then it's perfectly fine. Like, this tastes really sweet to me because I don't eat a lot of like super sweet stuff anymore. I say that, I eat a ton of honey. So the last thing I'm gonna do is kind of clean off the edges of this, and then I'm gonna stick it in the oven because the oven's already ready to go. This cooks at, according to the guy on Instagram, 175 degrees Celsius, but this is America and we do it in Fahrenheit. So we're gonna cook it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. It's gonna cook for like 50 minutes. So I'm gonna cook it for 40, and then I'm gonna check it and see if it's ready. And it's gonna be kind of the consistency of flan, but it's gonna taste so good. And the best thing about carnivore diet, and I don't know all the technicalities, but you don't gain weight with it. If you stick strictly to carnivore diet, it's gonna build muscle and decrease body fat without any exercise. Now I do exercise occasionally, but not significantly, and I've dropped from, I think when I started this, I was like 158 in that area, and right now I'm 145. So if that's the thing you want to do, then go for that, but I really just do it to help my Crohn's disease. So anyway, I'm gonna stick this in the oven, and then I'll see you in 50 minutes. It just got done. I'm gonna go grab it, and then we'll do a little taste test and texture test. So here it is. It's a nice golden brown on top. Beautiful. It comes out like flan a little bit, so if you don't like the texture of flan, you probably won't like this. Anyway, it's super hot right now though. All right, I got myself a serving spoon, but not a real spoon, so I'm gonna have to get up in just a second. But let me go ahead and just kind of cut this up and show you. So super fluffy. It is just so fluffy. Let me pull it out. I don't want to burn myself. I guess I could have buttered the sides of the pan, but then I could have mixed it all in there. There you go. So again, just super, super fluffy. And I'm gonna put a little bit in there. I'm gonna do a little quick taste test here, give you the best definition of how it tastes. But also everything on carnivore is kind of hard to explain because it's just a little different than everything else. But let me not burn my mouth here. You can definitely taste the cream cheese in it, and then the honey adds a bit of a sweetener. Honestly, it's perfectly fine just as it is, but if you are someone who loves sugar, especially if you're just starting the carnivore and it's really hard to like, you really want that sugar taste, just get more honey, especially if it's a good honey, and just drizzle it on top. One thing I wanted to mention, one of the main reasons I'm doing these videos is because my dad no longer lives in Hamilton. If y'all didn't know that, he lives up in Hereford now, which has been amazing. It's been such a blessing to have them there because the community is really great. This is my ForeFlight. This is the only map we use. But this is Amarillo here, and then Hereford is just right over there. And then Lubbock is down here. But unfortunately, that means it's 7 hours away. But thank y'all so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, I know my dad did at least. I'll try to make a few more of these videos just to kind of support kind of how to function on the carnivore diet. Okay, I went ahead and roped my husband Paul into this just so we have another opinion, maybe a little unbiased since he's not the one that made it. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop you a little bit of this. And I'm not gonna add extra honey to it just because Paul's someone who didn't grow up with a lot of sugar, so he generally doesn't like as much honey as I do. Also, I have already ate like most of this, And I don't feel bad because I know it won't make me gain any weight. But anyway, go ahead and taste it and just tell us what you think.
Ooh, that's good. It's almost like a flan, maybe. Something reminds me of that. Just because I've never had this. This is really good. It has a sweet, very subtle sweet flavor to it. That's really nice. That's really good. I can keep eating this. It's not overpowering. It's not. Oh, that's really good, baby.
You're not biased because you're mine.
Not at all. No.
Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope it, helped influence healthy habits. But have a good one.